Welcome to the Wisdom Within podcast. I am Lara Jaye, and today we are diving into one of the most empowering concepts I myself have explored in my own life, and it's jumping timelines. So I'm excited to talk to you today about this really fun concept. And what if I told you that you have the power to shift your entire reality with a single choice? That your life is not exactly set in stone, but instead it's a web of infinite possibilities. Now stay with me here, because today we're going deep into how you can consciously jump timelines and design your own destiny. What exactly is a timeline? Imagine your life as a train on a set track. This train represents your current trajectory, the way your career, relationships, health, and overall life are unfolding. But what if you don't like the direction it's going? What if you want to experience something completely different? The good news is you can switch tracks. That's what jumping timelines is all about. So a timeline is simply the path your life is taking in a specific area: work, love, home, health, spirituality. And here's the wild part. You're running multiple timelines all at once. You're constantly choosing, strengthening, or dissolving them based on your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. And also at the same time, our timelines are intersecting with other people's. Every decision, every choice you make, it's either keeping you on your current track or it's putting you on a new one. So if this sounds a bit like science fiction, let's bring in both quantum physics and spiritual wisdom. In quantum physics, there's a concept called the many worlds theory, which suggests that multiple versions of reality exist simultaneously. Every choice you make has the potential to create a different outcome, especially placing you on a new timeline. From a spiritual perspective, we see this as stepping into parallel realities based on our vibration and intention. So have you ever had a moment where your life seemed to almost shift overnight? Maybe an opportunity appeared out of nowhere, or you suddenly felt like a different person. That's timeline jumping in action. The more consciously you engage in this process, the more powerfully you can shift your life. How do you actually shift into a higher, more aligned timeline? Before we even get into the main steps, I want to invite you to take a deep breath with me. Think about one area of life that you are really struggling with, maybe even extremely frustrated. Think about that for a moment. Breathe into it. Let it sit in your body. Notice it. We're not going to judge it. We're going to acknowledge that it is happening right now in this present moment. If you can, go so far as to say you love that this is happening right now. Kabbalists embrace these moments by saying, "What a pleasure." Others repeat, "I love that whatever circumstance is happening." For example, "What a pleasure that this traffic is moving so slow in front of me and going to make me late." Or, "I love that this traffic is moving so slow in front of me and I'm most likely going to be late." Both work very well to relax the body, to stop resisting the current unwanted reality. What we resist persists. But when we love something, it softens, it relaxes. We want to love our current situation and let it move through us. After acceptance comes creation. Here are my key steps. And also, if you get my book, The Wisdom Within, it is in the chapter that correlates to jumping timelines. My steps are: number one, clarify your vision. You must know where you want to go. If your train is heading toward burnout, stress, or unfulfillment, you need to visualize what your ideal destination looks like. What does your highest self want? What does your best life include? Write it down in detail. This is not just wishful thinking. It's actually setting the energetic blueprint. Number 2, elevate your frequency. You cannot manifest a new timeline while staying stuck in low vibe emotions like fear, doubt, or frustration. I have learned this firsthand. So when I release these heavy emotions, when I release them through journaling, meditation, and energy work, what happens? I make space for something greater. I make space for that new timeline. Gratitude, joy, excitement, they are the fuel that powers your shift. Number 3, act as if. Embody the energy of the timeline you want to be on. If you desire a life of freedom and abundance, start making decisions like someone who already has it. Dress the part, speak the part, move through the world as if your new reality is already unfolding. Number 4, take aligned action. The most critical piece, once you've set your intention and shifted your energy, take action that aligns with your new path. Even small steps, changing your morning routine, shifting the way you speak about your desires, or reaching out to someone in your dream industry can be a timeline jump in itself. And number 5, release the old story. Very often what keeps us stuck is this narrative that we tell ourselves over and over and over, that old story. I've always struggled with money. I've always struggled with this or that. I'm just not lucky in love. These stories keep you bound to your current timeline. Things never work out for me, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. The one we keep repeating to ourselves over and over. To shift, you must rewrite your script. Speak and believe in a whole new story. And you need to do this every day. I've jumped timelines multiple times in my life. One of the biggest was leaving my so-called perfect plan that I was taught to follow. Marriage, kids, church, suburbia. It was all mapped out perfectly. And then I found myself questioning everything. My soul was nudging me towards something greater, something more expansive. But jumping timelines wasn't easy at that time for me. I didn't understand how to do it or what to do. When I left my marriage, I was facing some just immense guilt and fear and uncertainty. But I also knew that the life I deeply desired, this one of adventure and writing and a deep spiritual connection, was waiting for me. First big leap I took was moving from Midwest Indiana to the beaches of Sarasota, Florida. I wanted to go to my happy place. I followed the nudges, took the uncomfortable action, and soon my new timeline began unfolding. Looking back now, I can see that each big shift, every career move, relationship change, or even moments of deep self-reflection was me jumping on to a new timeline. And the truth is, we're all doing this all day long, whether we realize it or not. And once you start shifting, you want to keep your train on the right track. Here's how to do that. Stay very focused on your vision. Keep your dream in the front of your mind. Write it down, speak it out loud, meditate on it daily. Trust the process. The transition between timelines can feel quite chaotic. Things may fall apart before they come together. This is extremely normal. Keep the faith. Always surround yourself with the right energy. Not everyone will see your vision. Protect your vision. Be selective with whom you share your dreams with. I cannot even count the amount of people that did not get what I was trying to say or understand what I wanted to do in the world. Or they would understand it, but make sure they belittle me to there's no way that you could ever do that. You're just a mom from the Midwest. You're this, you're that. They projected onto me their own insecurities. People were projecting onto me left and right, and I allowed it because I wasn't confident enough yet at the time to stand in my power and go, this is my vision, this is my life. Honestly, I shouldn't even have shared it, but at the time I didn't understand to keep it under wraps, to protect the vision, to protect the dream, to protect what God has embedded in my cells, in my body. The majority of people are not going to get why you're here. And if you're listening to this, you're one of those people. Let me say that again. The majority of people are not going to understand you, are not going to understand your vision. And they're certainly not going to protect your vision with you, promote you, or support you. Be very, very selective in who you share your vision with. Next, keep taking inspired action. And every time you make a choice that aligns with your highest vision, you reinforce that new timeline. And lastly, practice daily alignment. Morning affirmations, breath work, and visualization exercises can help you anchor your shift. I do this myself every single morning, tuning into myself and the Creator, reactivating after a good night's sleep, and even after a bad night's sleep, reactivating why it is that I am here. What did I come here to do? I get my energy every morning from the Creator and tuning in to what God has for me. Before I go out that door, I want to be so filled up and on my track, in my lane, jumping my timeline and not being in someone else's cray-cray. The most important step in jumping timelines is letting go of the when and how. This is co-creation at its finest. This part requires envisioning and feeling it while surrendering to spirit the how and when it shows up for you. One of the questions I get often is, what if I'm desiring something in my life that God doesn't really want me to have? This is a fantastic question that I used to wonder about myself. I thought maybe my dreams were just too much or too big. And now I realize that I can't outdream God. If you have a desire, it was actually given to you by God. It was etched in your soul long before you were born. What you are seeking as well is seeking you. And again, desiring isn't the problem. It's we think it should show up in a certain way and in our timing. And that's back to the surrendering the how and the when. The magic trick is holding space every day to see your dream as a reality, yet surrendering the how and when to God. Allow yourself to feel so fulfilled knowing you already have everything you will ever need within you, lacking nothing as you go about your day. Take a moment, reflect. Where do you feel called yourself to shift? What version of yourself is waiting for you on a higher timeline? Take a deep breath and declare it out loud. Say, I am stepping into my highest timeline. I trust the unfolding of my destiny. And if you feel inspired, please share it with me. Send me a message, tag me on social media, or comment below. What timeline are you choosing today? So where is your train heading? If your current track doesn't excite you, it's time to jump. You have the power to create a new reality with each decision you make, with every choice you make. You're either picking your current timeline or a different one. Your decisions are not random. They're part of the blueprint for your highest potential. And of course, if you need support, if you would like a session to help you get on the right track, I am always here. And if today's episode resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. Share your experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Within podcast for more insights on living a soul-aligned life. And until next time, remember, what you seek is seeking you. Have a great rest of your week.